friends and partners, I'm glad you all came down. I'm mighty pleased to meet you and show you around my town. Come see the ghost town come alive like once upon a time, with all the long gone town folk that once was friends of mine. 100 years of history before your very eyes, 100 years of history beneath the western skies. You can see them can gals pretty as can be. That saucy little dance they do's the rage of gay party. The boys sleep in the bunkhouse, raise Cain in the saloon. But Calico's the place to go to hear an old time tune. 100 years of history with all the old time charm. 100 years of history at old Knott's Berry Farm. There's a carver and a cutter, a weaver and a wright. There's merchants and there's miners that work from morning till night. There's folks of every kind here you'll meet when you come by. They're neighborly and happy to make your time just fly. 100 years of history before your very eyes. 100 years of history beneath the western skies. Make sure to try the victuals here, a treat you won't forget. Some say that Grandma's cooking's the best they ever ate. There's home-baked beans and sausages and boysenberry pie, sweet yaller corn and barbecue to catch your hungry eye. 100 years of history before your very eyes. 100 years of history beneath the western skies. 100 years of history with all the old-time charm. 100 years of history at old Knott's Berry Farm. 100 years of history before your very eyes. 100 years.
Walter and Cordelia Knott had a dream, and with that dream they took a few acres of berries, a little money, lots of courage, and built one of the nation's great entertainment centers. In 1920, Walter Knott moved his family to Buena Park and opened a small roadside berry stand. In those days, Orange County was farmland as far as the eye could see. With the help of his wife, Cordelia, and their 4 children, Virginia, Russell, Tony, and Marion, Walter Knott fought off the effects of the Great Depression. In 1932, Walter located some scrawny and tangled vines growing in a nearby orange grove. These vines were originally developed by Rudolph Boysen. Walter Knott babied them and developed a luscious berry that was a cross between the blackberry, loganberry, and raspberry. He named it boysenberry. Every boysenberry in the world today can trace its heritage to those original vines. From Cordelia's kitchen came the world's first boysenberry pies, followed by her famous chicken dinners. Knott's Berry Farm was on its way. In later years, a visit to that original berry stand must have brought back a flood of memories. Knott's Old Time Adventures. What a perfect name, for it's a nostalgic trip back through our nation's past, and a gold mine of entertainment and education for young people of all ages. Walter Knott began his farm with a famous ghost town, and it's still the heart and soul of the park. It aims to recapture the charms and excitement of our favorite times in Western history.
Start showing a little more respect for the law. If you got something to say, say it. And keep saying, don't what? Shoot, Mike! Well, Marshal, what do you got for me there? Well, I got you another one, Phineas.
Digger, you want to clean him up a little, and Marshal, how about you, the deputy, put him over here in the wheelbarrow so I can finish the preliminaries. Now, let me see if I tally this right. That makes 14 this week, right?
No, that makes 50. And what about my bonus?
Well, I'm certain we can arrange something. Such efficiency should not go unrewarded. Folks, this mess off the streets before someone steps in it. Deputy, would you do the honors? That's all, folks. Thank you very much.
At the Calico Saloon, you may think you've been transported 100 years back in time. As we wander through the picturesque streets of Ghost Town, everything we see sure seems to tell us we're back in those days when most men were cowboys and women wore those fluffy skirts. Why, you could even have your pictures taken at the photo gallery with all kinds of backdrops. The candy counter at the general store will sure remind you of the way it used to be when kids spent their money for licorice, jawbreakers, and jelly beans, and the old-timers played checkers by the potbelly stove. At the crafts barn, you can wander through workshops bustling with wood carvers,
Once I get the wing shape, I'll go ahead and cut out feathers.
leather workers, and stained glass craftsmen. The authentic blacksmith's forge actually stood on a nearby farm and was moved to Ghost Town in 1940. Now you gotta remember that Knott's Berry Farm is the oldest theme park in the nation. Ghost Town is alive with authentic crafts and the characters who make them. The Birdcage Theater offers a real treat for everyone with its exciting melodramas.
Why, you lazy no-good loafer! You stupid, incompetent, big-headed man! You're changing color in the whole air tree. That was beautiful. Now give me a shot. Get to work, Muldoon. This is our last chance. No!
This is what we're going to do. We are going to rob that train. Oh, where you going, boys?
Drop the tray.
But of course, Superman gets a 97-pound wiggle.
The medicine show is real fun.
You out! That's right, folks. Come on down here a little closer if you would, please. Hurry, hurry, hurry. You heard the marshal. We've only got 30 minutes to make your science. And science fiction. How about you, sir? Are you sick and tired of being sick of being tired? I can tell. But never fear, because Mother Murphy is here. And gentlemen, are you worried about losing hair on top of your head? Do not worry, because Dr. I will skin and will grow hair on top of your head right before your very eyes. Now, who is going to be the first customer to step up here for only 25 cents, one fold of $1, 2 times for 1 nickel, and for 1 page?
You're a fake.
No, sir.
A fraud.
No, sir.
A phony.
No, sir.
You're a liar and a cheat.
Oh, nobody's perfect. Yes, my friends, it's eternally or externally, of course, it is Mother versus Mighty Rickshaw. And I do thank you very much.
Boot Hill Cemetery and its well-known tombstones are always good for a round of chuckles. Now, right here, you can become an honest-to-goodness sourdough. You can pan for real gold in a real sluice box, and you can take home all the gold that you pan. At the old jail, be careful. There's a real desperado inside.
Well, hello there, young lady with the long earring. Yeah, hello, June. How you been?
What'd you do to get in here?
That old sheriff got a lot of nerve, you know. He says I stole a horse. Can you imagine?
Did you do it?
Heavens, no. Do I look like a horse thief? A nice, honest-looking fellow like me? I never stole nothing in my life. Those old horses all followed me home one night, all 21 of them.
And at the barber shop, watch out for One-Eye Ike.
Now, like I started to say, studio stunt work is done in Hollywood, and through the use of various camera angles, actual contact is never made. But up here on stage during a live performance, actual contact must be made to assure you, the audience, the fight's real. Now, if all this is done properly, nobody gets hurt.
Okay.
Come on, Barry, move it!
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll bring him back up here. Sit down.
I want some down, I said. Son of a very... Hey! Get off of me! Come here! Get off! Oh! Get out of here, you! Get off!
There you have close contact fist fight. Thank you.
Okay, folks, the show is now over.
Knott Wild West Duck Show.
And doing the high ball, Mr. Dave Thompson.
Thank you, this is the big
Have a nice day here and not very far. Bye-bye.
Knott's is the place for picture taking. Why, everywhere you look, you see something to snap.
Get out there!
If you've ever longed to relive those adventurous days of the Old West, well, catch an original Butterfield stage, and you'll have a rowdy ride back through time. And don't let that bullet hole in the door bother you. That happened years ago. The Bottle House and the Old Red Schoolhouse are good examples of the authentic old buildings that you'll find in Ghost Town. The 1870 schoolhouse was painstakingly taken apart back in Kansas and then reassembled right here. Calico Square is the heart of Knott's Berry Farm. Surrounding this large open area is a vast assortment of outstanding attractions. One of these is the Calico Mine Company Railroad. It's been rumored that this train was actually robbed by Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. The log ride here has been copied but never equaled. Just give it a try and you'll have the thrill of your life propelled along through the darkness by 24,000 gallons of water per minute. You'll rush past and see loggers hard at work and an authentic 1800 sawmill. That is, if you can open your eyes. Most people that climb aboard the Ghost Town and Calico Railroad's old train don't realize that they're boarding one of the most famous trains in America. Mighty steam engine number 41 was built in 1881. It proudly pulls the only narrow-gauge passenger train in the United States on a year-round schedule. You may be in for some trouble, though, because this train gets robbed just about every trip. Well, shucks, it's all in fun.
Come on, we're going to jail. Oh, yeah, what for? For robbing this train. Oh, you got it all wrong. No, this is my family. We're going on a picnic. Yeah, see, that's my cousin Billy Bob right there. That's Billy Sue, Billy Jean, and here's Billy Goat. Oh, come on now, what kind of fool are you? I don't know, what kind of fool are you? Oh, that doesn't get it. Come on now.
This great train, the first that dared penetrate the Rocky Mountains, has the ardent love of children and the delight of adults. Well, this ends our adventures in Ghost Town. We've traveled back through time to visit the Old West, and we've seen a lot of reminders of those wonderful Western days of yesteryear. But we ain't finished yet. There's one heck of a lot more to see here at Knott's Berry Farm. Fiesta Village was designed as a tribute to the charm of early California. Here you can stroll to the music of mariachi bands and browse through open stall gift markets. From peaceful relaxation to an iron monster without mercy, Montezuma's revenge will catapult you forward and backward and then turn you upside down. Well, there just doesn't seem to be an end to all these thrilling rides. You'll find them from one end of the park to the other. Small ones and large ones. Milquetoast ones to darn right scary ones. Say, there's even an old-time carousel for the young at heart. Here at Charleston Circle, you'll be entering the Roaring Twenties area of the farm. And it really is roaring, with sights and sounds and exciting activities. Let me show you what I mean. The rip-snorting corkscrew. Why, Knott's Berry Farm could even whisk you back in time before you know it.
Rebecca, what have you done?
How about some good old-fashioned bumping with a bumper car? For a change of pace, see an outstanding show at the Good Time Theater. There's something going on here all the time. Why, you might just see some of the biggest stars around. And there's lots of interesting places to stop and calm down along the way, too.
A day at Knott's wouldn't be complete without a trip down the Bigfoot Rapids. And believe me, on a hot day, there's no better way to cool off.
Well, are you ready now for the big one? You're looking at it. 20 stories tall. It's the tallest of its kind in the world. It even has a sky cabin that revolves as it goes up and down. And 12 parachutes to thrill you to the core. And still more thrills await you with other exciting adventure rides. At the Pacific Pavilion, you'll have a complete change of atmosphere as you watch the delightful antics of some incredible performers.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks. This is the Snoopy Doggy Diver Show. There we go. I'm sorry about that.
Kind of cool there. Can you take a nice
The zany tricks of some comical sea lions.
That's it. Let's go over that way, Dudley. Don't look out for the shark. Dudley, watch out. Should be right beside good old Dudley.
And the graceful performance of some lovable porpoises.
And the Star Show happy and soda. That's it. Go and remember she likes that a lot. Go and pet her. Yeah. Don't stick your finger in that hole, okay? That's her nose. Yeah.
You know, there are endless reasons to come and visit Knott's Berry Farm, but the very reason and of course all the famous Knott's jams and jellies that you could ever want. There's an almost endless variety of other gift shops, and some of them are about the finest that you'll ever come across. Many areas of the farm are just plain beautiful. You can stroll amongst the fountains and waterfalls and admire the panoramas of colorful flowers that adorn the walkways and hang from the wall. The farm has water, too. Lots of water. Its very own lake, and even a river. If you're so inclined, you may wish to take a ride on the Walter K, a replica of a paddle wheel steamer of long ago.
The incredible waterworks is a sound, light, and water spectacular that will plumb astound you. After dark, it becomes an unforgettable entertainment extravaganza, with jets of water dancing to music and soaring upwards to nearly 100 feet. The tranquil Church of Reflections is located amid stately trees and flowering gardens on the bank of a peaceful lake. It's a striking recreation of an early period American church with its beautiful stained glass window of Christ. Walter and Cordelia would be right proud if they could see Camp Snoopy. It's been created for youngsters of all ages. Why, you'll see Snoopy, Lucy, Charlie Brown, and Linus, too. There's so much fun to be had here, it's hard to know where to begin. We call it the Camp Snoopy Built. Brave troopers, both young and old, can sway high over the rapids on a creaking suspension bridge or explore the waterfalls and rapids from close up. There just doesn't seem to be an end to this giant funhouse. There are balloons to fly in. Cars to ride in. Poles to ride on. Balls to crawl through. Pads to bounce on. And planes to fly in. Camp Snoopy is indeed a mountain camp full of adventures, and a true and proper home for a true and proper hero. At the petting zoo, you can love and pet all sorts of critters. You and they will love every moment of it. At the koi ponds, you'll see some of the biggest goldfish and Japanese koi found anywhere. You can also ride a puppy-sized roller coaster called the Timberline Twister through a mountain forest.
And if that's too tame for you, then how about this great Ferris wheel guaranteed to make even the brave squeamish? You know, Knott's Berry Farm is so big, and there are so many things to see. Well, how many places do you know that have 2 trains? Not many, right? Well, the farm actually has 3 trains. This one may not be as big as old number 41, but it's just as much fun. Why, you're going to see so many things on this ride you won't believe it. Of course, that's what Knott's Berry Farm's all about. Seeing lots of exciting and interesting things and having so darn much fun doing it. Of all the wonderful things that you've experienced at the farm, nothing has prepared you for the inspiring sight of Independence Hall. This inspiring replica of our nation's most hallowed building was Walter Knott's most cherished achievement. It has been painstakingly recreated down to the most minute detail. Even the bricks are exact replicas of the ones used in Philadelphia. Here in the assembly room, 56 brave men signed our Declaration of Independence. You can hear an authentic recreation of their debate. Every chair, every desk, even the pens tell a story about the birth of our great nation. In the tower room, sitting majestically on its cherry red pedestal, is the magnificent 2,075-pound Liberty Bell. Walter Knott was one of America's great patriots. Today, he has left us all with the legacy of Knott's Berry Farm. Let's remember that it all started with a dedicated young couple, a little berry stand, and lots of courage.